Alrighty, looks like I am live. So first I will introduce myself. Hello, my name is Ashley Stedman, also known as your girl Trashly. Call me either Ashley or Trashly or Trash or whatever you'd like. So my presentation today is going to be on how to be a Faux-lita. Now I know you don't know what a Faux-lita is, but I'll run it down in just 1 second. First things first, let's do a quick disclaimer. So here's the deal. I am not a real Lolita. This is all made up, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So, with that being said, sorry, I need to adjust something. My whole thing's a mess. So, part of the disclaimer, I am a mess. Um, but yes, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pulling all of this out of my butt. I don't know that much about Lolita, so if I get things wrong, which I will, don't yell at me. I'm sensitive. So yeah, this is all made up, so don't take notes. Don't get too set on this. So yeah. So what is a Faux-lita? First, I've been a Faux-lita only for a short while. I'm very new to all of this. This is very young to me. I've only been doing it a little over 11 years, so I'm just dipping my toe in, you know. There are more Faux-litas than just me. I've met more. So it's not just made up. The name is made up by me, but I've heard other people use it because I'm a trendsetter. But it is a made up thing. And it is not called fake Lolita. Although it is fake Lolita, that's not the name of it because it's not cute enough. It's faux Lita. That's the better name. So it's not fake Lolita, it's faux Lita. So jot that down. So basically, a Faux-lita is somebody who's like kind of interested in the fashion, thinks it's cool, wants to wear it sometimes, like definitely into it, but isn't ready to like dedicate themselves to it or buy pieces or really be a part of the art form that is Lolita. They just are like, that's nice from like a distance. So they're not a real Lolita, they're just kind of faking it. Faux-lita could be anybody. It could be a friend of a Lolita. It could be a sibling, a cousin or other family member, a neighbor, a stranger, the weird guy at Walmart, your emotional support animal, anybody. I myself am a Faux-lita in 3 ways. I am a sibling of a Lolita. I am a Lolita in law. My girlfriend is a Lolita. And let's be real, I'm the weird guy at Walmart. I spend a lot of time there. I used to work there, and I'm pretty weird. So there's not really any rules to this. It's just guidelines. I'm going to mention that there are rules a lot, but it's really just guidelines. Um, so don't worry. It's not like, oh, if you don't follow these rules, you're going to be fed to your local comm leader who's an eldritch being who watches over all. That's not how it works. It's just like, no, do what you want. But there is one actual rule to being a Faux-lita, and that is you have to respect Lolita. You cannot come into this thinking it's a dumb, silly fashion that looks weird, so you want to try it on to laugh at it with all your friends. That's not what's happening here. That's mean, that's disrespectful. That is not what this is. You have to respect Lolita. So, whether you're a Faux-lita yourself and just want to learn more about it, whether you're a Lolita wondering what the hell I'm talking about, or my mom confused but supporting me, hi mom, or my sister who's forcing me to do this, I hope you enjoy. So, the basics. This is how I'm going to be breaking it down. We're going to go over the basics. We're going to be going over where and how to get stuff. And finally, we're going to go over how to infiltrate and appreciate Lolita. So first, the basics we will cover: subgenres, vocabulary, and then these things I took a very extensive, very well-researched official poll on to see what were the most important basics of Lolita. And by that, I mean I asked some of my friends because I'm scared to talk to other people. And there's like a million different answers because everybody interprets it in their own way and has their own experience with Lolita. But there were a few things that did come up more frequently. So those are petticoats / silhouettes, blouses, accessories and hair, and the dresses themselves. So first, subgenres. We have sweet. If you feel like your teeth are rotting when you're looking at this person and you're getting cavities as we speak, you're looking at sweet Lolita. It is very pink, has a lot of food items. You can see it has like bakery stuff. It can have candy, like she's holding a lollipop. It can have fruits and stuff like that. Just anything that, like, when you eat it, it's sweet. It also has a lot of pink, but it's not always pink. Sometimes it's other pastel colors. And sometimes it's things that aren't food, such as things that make your heart happy and you think are sweet, like clouds and bunnies and, food, stuff like that. This is your opportunity to wear your food again, like you did when you were a baby, or to use psychological warfare to make everybody feel really hungry, because I know I get hungry by some people. The accessories are pretty frilly with bows and little heart cutouts, very cute, lots of pinks, lots of pastels, like I said. You can wear fruit and other food things. I don't recommend wearing real food, but again, do what you want, go extra. There are no rules. Then there's sweet, etc. So these are the subcategories of sweet, which, because when you're like, hey, do you want candy? You're not like, yeah, I will take this generic candy. You're like, what kind of candy? Is it sweet tarts? Because I don't like those, but I sure do like chocolate. So here is chocolate Lolita, which is exactly what it sounds like. It looks like you're wearing chocolate. Lots of browns, lots of like off color, off whites, stuff like that. It doesn't always have to look incorporate actual chocolate. Sometimes it just looks chocolatey. And also it can come in other colors too, just like in Sweet Lolita. There's another subcategory which is very controversial. It is called bittersweet Lolita. It's basically like Sweet Lolita but with a black background. Kind of reminds me of like scene kids, those kids who were like, I'm emo but I wear more pink, from like 2007. Just kidding. I'm gonna get killed for that joke. That's going to be the end of me. But anyway, so as you can see, like still adding the food things, still the cutesy things, but all in black. And so it doesn't have to always have a black background. Sometimes it just incorporates black. And I know what you're going to say. Ashley, that's not sweet Lolita. That's not something you can eat. Those are music notes. In response, I have three things. First, music notes can be sweet. Second, if you're not eating music, you're not trying hard enough. And third, I don't know what I'm doing. If this is made up, I'm not a real Lolita. I don't know if it's sweet or not. It just looks sweet to me. I Googled bittersweet. This is what came up. So, and I think it's cute. So there we go. So now we move on to Gothic Lolita. Surprisingly enough, based on the name, this is going to surprise everyone. There's a lot of black to it, but there is some colors you can incorporate into it. Such as like dark blues, dark purples, stuff like that. There are a lot of crosses in it, lots of intricacies. It can be very mystical, like this girl with elf ears on and like flowers on her dress, unless she's a real elf, in which case I'm sorry. I'm scared of the elf community. Please don't come for me. I'm sorry I outed you. But yeah, the accessories look like they can be bought at Hot Topic, but a little better and fancier. Or like you're raiding the craft section, the Halloween section at craft stores like Michael's. Very cool, very intricate. Don't tell me that eye patch is not the coolest thing you've ever freaking seen. And again, like the shoes have less frillies and lacies than like Sweet Lolita, but there's still like crosses and they still look nice. And the reason why there are crosses is so that you understand with Gothic Lolitas, don't cross them. Just kidding. That's made up. But anyway, now on to classic. So here's the deal. Sorry. If you took a Lolita and somebody from like 1890 and put them in a transportation machine and one being came out the other side, you would have a classic Lolita. So it looks like there may be, sorry, it looks like if you collided a history teacher, a history professor giving a lecture on typewriters with a Lolita. It's very like of fancy. It's very, neutral browns and reds and greens. Sometimes they incorporate cute things like bears, or like musical instruments are a big one. See, we have some like greenish blue there with a violin case. And a violin dress there with, and those buttons, very popular. Also pinstripes come in a lot, and they don't always have patterns like other skirts do or dresses do. They a lot of times they have like one staple picture, like that cute little bird cage. The shoes can be brown oftentimes with some frillies and bows as well. But what I love most about classic is that you can wear boots with it. I love myself some good boots, and it looks adorable. You look like a train conductor who is trying to head home right now, who is needs to head home to take care of their aging father, but along the way finds themselves and finds love. I myself am wearing some classic Lolita right now. It's got little dollies on it. It's pretty cute, and it's like a reddish. And even to emphasize the point, I even have myself a doll to go with me. This is my friend. Her name is Roberta. I love her. Anyway, so now on to more subcategories. Oh yeah, you change a bracelet, you're in a new category of Lolita. There's a million of them. A lot of them people don't believe in. A lot of them people do believe in. A lot of them people fight about. I don't know any of the fighting. I don't know what's real and what's not real. So here's some things that I've heard about, I guess. So the first one is the one that belongs in my heart forever because it's the one that I tried to do at the first time I started actually wearing Lolita because I love punk fashion, and it is punk Lolita. It is my green lights across the lake that I will always strive for, but I cannot do because I just don't have the skills. Because punk is very like DIY, worn out, kind of grungy, and Lolita is not. It is very clean and elegant. So punk doesn't quite fit in there, but you can do it. It is possible. Like, look at that. She's got the plaid, she's got the belt like textures, like she looks cute. So like it is doable. It's just not by me. Then we have Hime Lolita, and I'm pretty sure Hime means princess, and it is Princess Lolita. Look, she looks very royal, like she's never met a poverty in her life. She even has a crown on. The skirts are a little longer, very fancy. You know, they look like they could be best friends to Marie Antoinette. They look ready to have their heads cut off in the French Revolution. Like, very princessy, very adorable. Love it. Look at her. She definitely has the petticoat thing going on. And I'm just kidding. This is Kristen Dunst from the movie Marie Antoinette. It's just like, same vibes. And then we have Country Lolita, which looks like if you lived on a prairie and were into Lolita. Lots of florals, lots of browns, straw hats with a bow on it. Very iconic, you know. Plaids sometimes, just like if you can picture them having a picnic out on the prairie while their dog runs around and they read a book, like there you go. You got Country Lolita down. So now let's go into some vocabulary. First, we have a cord, which is not the cord you wear around your neck at graduation. It is short for coordinate, which is an outfit because you coordinate what you wear with each other. So for example, this is a cord because you got the blouse, the dress, the socks, the shoes, and the flower crown. Like everything goes together to make this pretty outfit. So that is her cord. Then we have a petty, which is not when you ride somebody's butt in traffic because they totally cut you off and then they slow down, which is very frustrating because if they're going to cut you off, they should at least match the speed of traffic. But either way, it's not being petty. It is a petticoat, the fluffy skirt that goes under your big fluffy skirt. So you have a petticoat, which is a fluffy skirt, and then you have a skirt over it that has some lace on it, most likely. It looks very ruffly. Everything is ruffly. And where is it ruffly? Over your butt. So what are Lolitas? They're ruffle butts. So this is a ruffle butt. You can see their butts very ruffly, very full of petticoats and lace, and it looks cute. So ruffle butt, it's just a cute name for a Lolita. A comm, that is short for community, which is your local Lolitas who often get together online and then plan meetups together. So this is a picture with me and some of the people in my comm. Comms can be great places for many reasons, most importantly for finding friends. I found a lot of friends through my comm and I love them, even though I didn't really join it. My girlfriend and my sister did, and then they were like, oh, Ashley, you should join. And I was like, yeah, I guess. And then I ended up having a lot of fun. So comms, try to look for your local one. If you don't have one, maybe try to start one. I don't know, it could be fun. More vocabulary. We have an OP, which is a one-piece dress. It is just one piece of dress, just one big piece. You got the sleeves, the top, the skirt. It is one big piece of dress. Then we have a JSK, which is not somebody struggling with chat speak to say just kidding. It is a jumper skirt, which is like a one piece, except for it has little strappies. So like this is a JSK because I got my little strappies. So usually you need a blouse with it, but again, like do what you want. Who cares? If you don't want to wear a blouse, don't. You probably should. People might judge you, but whatever. And then we have OTT, which is over the top. So let's say you're coming in, you're looking cute. You got your skirt, you got your blouse, you got your shoes that match your skirt, you got your headpiece that matches everything else. You're looking cute. And then somebody walks in and they're doing like a donut coordinate and they have fake donuts in their hair. They have sprinkles glued on their face. Their lipstick is smudged. They have a Krispy Kreme bag as their purse. They have frosting on their shoes so that they leave a trail of frosting everywhere they go with the scent of freshly baked donuts. They are not wearing Lolita. They have embodied the spirit of Lolita. They are possessed by Lolita that is over the top. So for example, we have on the left here, we have a regular sweet Lolita. And then on the right, we have somebody going over the top. Her wig matches the colors on her dress. Her skirt is big and adorable. Her purse is a fun shape. She's got lots of things in her hair and even decorations on her face. Like everything's decked out. For Gothic Lolita, on the left, again, great outfit, looking cute, lots of lace. But on the right, she has a halo of lace. She has a flower crown of skulls, I believe. Even her bag, again, fun shape. It is a skull. Fun shaped bags are big in OTT Lolita. It's one of my favorite things about it. She even has a sash on to mark herself as the queen of Gothic OTT Lolita, which she has earned because that looks really cute. I love her outfit. So, love OTT Lolita. And last page of vocabulary, we have some brands. We have AP, which is not advanced placement classes because we do not support that here because they're hard and I failed one of my tests and it's really difficult. So it's not AP. It is for Angelic Pretty, which is a brand. It's a Sweet Lolita brand, very pretty, almost in like an angelic way. This picture's a little hard to see, but it is just like a lot of pastels, bright colors, sweet Lolita. It's very, very intricate and pretty and very, very expensive. I probably will never buy from them because I don't care enough. And it's just like a very pretty brand. So next we have Baby, which is not an infant probably. It is Baby the Stars Shine Bright, which is another sweet Lolita brand. It's also very intricate and very expensive. For both of these, I love going online and looking at the dresses and then leaving, knowing that it will never happen. Baby the Stars Shine Bright, I will say, they have some really, really cute dresses. I love this one. But most of my knowledge of this brand comes from the movie Kamikaze Girls, which is an amazing movie that features Lolita, but it is about friendship and genuine human connection. And you can't pass that up because it is such an important lesson to be learned. So I love that. And then last we have Bodyline, which is probably where you should start if you're a Faux-lita. If you're like, I'm a Faux-lita who's going to actually buy things, like Bodyline's a good place to start. It's like the Ross of Lolita. It's pretty cheap, pretty good, not too bad. Like very comes with like dresses that are pretty solid colors so that you don't need to worry about matching like, oh no, I have watermelons on my dress, so how am I going to find a watermelon necklace and watermelon socks and watermelon shoes, whatever. You can just be like, it's pink, I have some pink stuff. So next on, we're talking about the petty. So the petticoat is the silhouette of Lolita. It is the iconic piece of Lolita. It is the soul of Lolita. It is what makes people do their first double take because they will do many more after that and then ask you weird questions that you've heard a million times. Maybe take pictures of you, maybe without your permission. People get weird about Lolita. But petticoats. So the basics to a petticoat. You want to look exactly like those Barbie cakes that I always wanted as a kid but never got. This needs to be your inspiration. This needs to be taped to your fridge when you are craving food so that you know where your motivation lies. This needs to be who you aspire to be. It even comes in bittersweet Lolita and Gothic Lolita. So no excuses. You gotta look like a Barbie cake, but like shorter because, the dresses don't go all the way to the ground. And then we also have the different types of petticoats. From what I understand, there are 3 different types. This is just my understanding. So we have the cupcake one, which looks like the top of a cupcake. Maybe the top of a cupcake with too much frosting, but a cupcake nonetheless. So it's round, pretty self-explanatory. A line makes the line of an A, makes sense. Goes kind of straight, but still poofy. Um, and then we have this in the etc. category. I don't. It's too curvy to be A line. It's not quite cupcake. It's kind of upside down cupcake, like you dropped a cupcake, or like when you splash into a pool and you see it from underwater and all the bubbles come up. Like that's what it reminds me of. But it's a petticoat. I don't know. We have this, which came up when I googled Lolita petticoats. I have never seen a Lolita mention this, let alone wear one. But I'm sure that they would because Lolitas they go all out. Looks like something from Marie Antoinette's court. Shout out to her part 2. Um, a very interesting piece. And then lastly, we have this, which I know you're like, dude, that's just bloomers. Um, but here's honesty time. I don't understand bloomers. I just don't get it. Is it supposed to make it poofier? Because it doesn't look like it would make it poofier. It's just like one thing of fabric. Like, is it just because you want to wear like fancy shorts? Because you can just wear shorts, like your skirts cover these things. Like I don't understand why bloomers are a thing. I just don't get them. So they're in the etc. for me. So now we have some blouses. We have some good and bad blouses. First, let's start off with a good blouse. Very form-fitting, got a nice collar, high collar, kind of roughly, good length sleeves. Perfect blouse. Now we have a bad one. Kind of short, lots of cleavage showing. Um, in Lolita, you're supposed to pretend that you don't have boobs. If you do have boobs, many Lolitas do not. But you're supposed to pretend that you don't because you can't look like human. You got to look like a cake. Um, Also, this has polka dots on it, and polka dots are kind of hard to work with in Lolita. I would only trust a real Lolita to do it, not a faux Lolita like me or possibly you. We don't know what we're doing. Don't mess with patterns on your blouses. Like this one is a little too shiny for me. You're a Lolita, not a aging starlet trying to keep a grasp on her fame. You're not trying to stand out like this. You're trying to stand out in a fun, different way. So no shininess, and also kind of a weird color. But other than that, I think it should work. Um, Finally, oh, I messed up on the layering of this one. But we have a ruffly blouse here, which you'd think ruffles are good, but this is too ruffly. If you put a skirt over it, would cut it off. If you have a JSK over it, it looks like it would make your torso bumpy. Like it's too much rufflies. But we have this, which is a perfect blouse. And it's something that I've seen at the Goodwill when I was 9 and put back because I was going through a tomboy phase and only wanted the camo cargo pants that I found. But it is something you can find and it is perfect. It's a little poofy, a little ruffly, and white. Again, stick to basic colors because you don't know what you're doing. So just stick to the basics. Which includes black blouses like this one, which has really cool sleeves. I really like the little flary parts at the end. And so, it's got some ruffles, but it's still a basic color because the basic colors you can match with almost everything. If you try to get fancy, things are going to get bad. But remember, I don't know what I'm doing. None of this is real. Don't listen to my advice, and who knows if any of this means anything. So, next up is accessories. So with accessories, just make an effort. Just try. Just freaking make an effort with them. Just do something. Sometimes you don't need a whole lot of them because like up here is really busy on my dress, so I'm not going to wear a necklace. But I am going to wear some bracelets and a ring because I'm going to try, and a bow in my head because I'm going to try, because I'm going to make an effort. That is what is important here. So some good and bad jewelry accessories. There are none. I've never seen a piece of jewelry that I'm like, that wouldn't go with Lolita. So like, I don't know. But I don't know. So maybe there are some bad ones. Ask a real Lolita, not me. But there are different ways that you can use them. For example, you have this really cool necklace that has like bat wings on it. You would not pair it with this pink Lolita dress. You might be like, oh, I could pair it and put on some black shoes and a black person be like, that's bittersweet Lolita. No, it is not. You're very misinformed. I don't even know where to start with you. So like ask a real Lolita. Um, but so that's a big no. But for this dress, it could work really well because the colors match and like on the bottom, there's even that ovally shape with the things coming off, so it kind of matches those shapes. But also, I wouldn't necessarily wear it with this one because it already has the high collar, so a necklace might look weird. But that's just an example. But that one is the right one. We also have some pearly hair accessory things you can find at Target. And with this one, I initially was like, you can't wear those. And then I was like, oh, you could maybe wear them together. But then I was like, no, she has too many things happening in her hair already. The pearls are kind of off white and she's going for stark white. Like there's no real circly pearl things on her dress. So it could maybe work, but I would say no. But a good example would be this dress right here called Dreamery, which has little pearls on it and has little bubbles on it and looks really cute and so would match perfectly. So that is a good one. So it's just depending on how you use the accessories. Next, we have the basics of hair. So bows, excellent thing to put in hair. Example A. Flower crowns. If you have florals going on, these would be perfect. You got some horns if you're a gothic Lolita, or if you just kind of want to scare your parents, those would be excellent. Put some food in on you, especially if you're a sweet Lolita. Again, not real food unless you're that dedicated and willing to mess up whatever you put the food on. And even just throw like a teacup on your head. I wouldn't recommend a real teacup, but like, just go experiment, go wild. It's a wild fashion. Like have fun with it. Bad ones are not trying, just not putting an effort in and doing nothing. Brushing your hair is not a hairdo. If you have curly hair and you straighten it, that looks great. If you have straight hair and you curl it, that looks great. If you do something with your hair that's different, great. If you do nothing with your hair that's different, put in some effort, dude. It's not that hard. Okay, so now you know the basics. You know the things that you need, the blouse, the dress, and the poofiness, and the socks, and the shoes, and the headwear, all that stuff. So what you should do moving forward with this is you should not try to go too fancy too fast. This is a good example of me in a regular old outfit. I just got, my dress, just a blouse that matches my tights, that matches my bow in my hair, very simple Lolita. Very good, very classic, love it. This is a good example. A bad example would be this outfit, which is very intricate, has a lot of things happening, has a lot of matchiness to it. She's wearing a kind of see-through mesh blouse that would be kind of hard to work with if you don't know what you're doing. She makes it look great, but you probably won't as a Faux-lita. So don't try to go too hard too fast. Just stick with the basics until you learn some more or until you realize that you're bored of it and then move on to something new. So that's not a good example. Finally, we're moving on to the dress. Now, in my extensive and official poll, one thing that surprised me was that they didn't actually mention the dress a whole lot. And that's kind of weird to me. And then I thought about it some more and I was like, you know what? The dress doesn't totally matter because dresses are expensive and, you have to actually work to get them. And you starting out, you're not going to get a dress. So, like, whatever. So, you could start off by buying a dress and doing a simple coordinate. Or if you're going to your meetups at the beginning, you could just, wear something nice, wear something fancy. This was in one of my first meetups. I just wore a frilly dress. You could put a sundress with some petticoats underneath. Lolitas all know where they started. They remember the days of layering Hot Topic tutus. Like, nobody's going to judge you. Like, they're going to be like, she's trying and appreciate it. Or you could just wear any J fashion that you know about. If you're more into Gyaru than you are Lolita, but you're still interested in Lolita, show up in that. Lolitas like J fashion, surprisingly enough. So these are all excellent examples. Now, look at you. You're a real expert, a real nerd about Lolita. So now let's move on to our next portion, which is where do you get Lolita stuff and how do you get Lolita stuff? So the first place I always start is the ARC or any thrift store by you. It is the holy grail of Lolita things. Because what do Lolitas wear? They wear old stuff. They wear frilly stuff. They wear weird stuff. And what does your good old thrift store have? It has some frilly stuff. It has some old stuff. And we all know it's got some weird stuff. So it is a great place to find things, especially like blouses. And I've found some shoes there too. But shoes are really hard to find. So mostly just stick with black and white flats that you can find on Walmart because like shoes are kind of tough. But the Ark is an excellent place to start, or whatever local thrift store you have. Second one, your grandmother, or if you do not have a grandmother, your granny member of your family, the one who likes a lot of florals and doilies and stuff like that, and who like is very sweet but judges you for every aspect of your life choices, your granny member. So your granny member will be super excited when you come in saying, hey, I want some conservative, ruffly, really girly things to wear for Lolita. And that is if you are a cis woman, I will say, or if your grandma's really accepting. If you do not fall under that category, it may be a tougher situation for you. So I would say avoid this. This is only for special circumstances. But, your granny member would be excited and delighted that you're finally taking an interest in the things that she likes. I know my grandma was until I followed it with, also, if you see anything with aliens or Bigfoot on it, you should let me know. Then the spark of hope in her eyes died. And that's just a joke. My grandma believes in Bigfoot. Not evolution, but Bigfoot. So unpack that. And another place we can get stuff from is Etsy. That's a good place to get accessories from, like little heart, cute, sweet necklaces, or like some gothic things. I think that's a necklace. Maybe it's a headpiece. Who knows? I sure don't. As we can tell from the everything about me and everything I've said, I don't know much. And you can also buy fruit accessories. Again, wearing food is a solid choice in Lolita. Fake or real, probably fake. And finally, the best place to get your Lolita equipment is from your oh, I forgot one. Oh my goodness. So you can go to your basement or attic because who knows what you wore as a baby. Yeah, it may be a bonnet. It may be some ruffly stuff. Yeah, you're probably too big for your baby clothes, but who knows? You can make them into, a bracelet or something, just look in what you have. Maybe your mom bought you a frilly dress forever ago that you hated and stored up there. And now you're like, hey, this could go. This could look good. So just go through your own stuff. Now, the actual best place to find Lolita stuff is your local community. Mine is the Colorado Gothic and Lolita Society members community. They are the coolest and best people. They are super awesome and will help you out. And they are a great group of people. Also, they like Lolita, so they like making outfits for Lolita. So if you come up and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, they're like, I get to make 2 outfits for the price of 1. Yes, I will dress you up. You get to figure out what it's like to be Cinderella for a day. You get to figure out what it's like to have 10 fairy godmothers dressing you all at once. You get to pretend to be a doll to their dress up doll fantasy. So exciting stuff. This comes with a story. So a while ago, my sister, my girlfriend, and my friend, who's also one of our comm leaders, helped me out with making this outfit. I decided none of it. I picked out none of it, but it's one of the favorite outfits I've ever worn before. Because you saw this dress earlier. It was Dream Marine. It's one of my favorite dresses. I think it's really cute. And I felt super adorable, but I did none of it. So we went out to eat, and there were probably like 13 of us. And we asked the waiters to decide who had the best outfit and do like a little mini coordinate contest. And you'll never guess out of the 13 how many were pissed that I won the coordinate contest. I'll give you a hint, about 13, because I did nothing for it. So through all of them being grumpy and saying, well, it's just because of this or it's just because of this, I was ignoring them because I still got the prize and I wouldn't share it. So that was one of the best days of my life, was winning a coordinate contest I did no effort for. So that may happen to you. You could get one of the best outfits because you asked a friend for help. So always ask your community members and ask online and see if people are willing to let you borrow stuff or have stuff that they don't really want to sell or anything like that. That's where I get most of my stuff. Yeah. So now we're on to infiltrate and appreciate. So there we're going to go into the habitat of Lolitas. Now, I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends right now watching this are going to start sweating because they're going to be like, oh God, she's going to expose how I live in my apartment. First of all, there's only one friend watching. Hi, Jamie. That was a joke, by the way. I know I have other friends watching, and hello to all of you. But also, if you go into an apartment, you'll find like a human person. If you go, but we're looking for Lolita people. So it's different. We're not looking into apartments. But there are three things that go into where Lolitas have their meetups and hang out. The first thing is it's got to be a public place. You have to be allowed to be there. You can't just show up to places and be like, yeah, I look cute, so I'm allowed here. That's not how it works. Second, it's got to be cheap. Lolita just spent $300 on a dress. They're not going to spend any more money or any more than $20 on where to go. They're not breaking the bank for this. You got to pick somewhere pretty cheap unless it's like a big event. And also, lastly, the most important thing, you got to be able to take pictures. You've got to be able to pose somewhere cute. If it's not cute, like, what's the point? You're going out to look cute, so you better get documentation that you look cute. This is the most important part of finding a Lolita habitat. So, some examples are museums. Lolitas love museums, especially like doll museums, because, Lolitas vibe with dolls. You just kind of have the same, like, understanding. Lolitas are not trying to be dolls, to clarify. They just vibe a little bit. Historical sites and houses of historical people. This is the Molly Brown House in Denver. There was a Lolita meet there that I did not get to go to, which is upsetting, but it's a great place to have a Lolita meeting or meetup. And then you also have hotels and other fancy places that have like restaurants. This is the Brown Palace Hotel in Denver, which has a high tea restaurant high tea restaurant in the hotel. So you can get some like tea and stuff and then take some cute pictures in different places in the hotel. It's great. I will say this place is not cheap. So this would be a special occasion place. We also have botanic gardens. Flowers are beautiful. Flowers are great. Flowers make you look pretty, especially if you're in a floral outfit, or especially if you're doing a springtime Lolita event. That is in person, unlike this one, unfortunately. So you also want to go to places with murals, because murals are great to pose with. So try to find somewhere really cool that's like downtown or something that's just like has a great setting and a great vibe to it. So now let's move on to the Lolita diet. What do you eat at meetups? Well, lots of boba tea. Boba is very popular. I love boba, except for the balls part of it, the little boba balls. Not a fan. I don't want them, which I know is what makes boba boba. So I lied. I don't like boba, but I appreciate it. Also, you may eat katsu ramen or pho or other Eastern Asian foods. Keeping up with the theme. Lolitas love themes. Their whole life is about themes. Try to keep with the theme. You also have some of whatever this is. I don't know what it's called, but I've had it before and it is really good. Lots of ice cream. And the fish cone thing tastes good. Don't worry, it's not made out of real fish, probably. I didn't taste any fish. I don't know. And Lolitas drink lots and lots of tea. We have a lot of tea parties, lots of high tea time. As you can tell, even through this non-in-person event, we are having tea parties through Zoom. Tea is a big deal. And finally, mannerisms. And this is a big PSA moment because a lot of people say Lolitas are bitchy, Lolitas are mean, Lolitas are cliquish. Lolitas are people, and people are mean, and people are cliquish, and that's just the reality of the situation. But most Lolitas that I've met have been rejected by society in some way, and so they understand what it's like to have to struggle through those situations. So they're very welcoming and open to new people, and they really appreciate you trying and getting interested in their interests. So they're very nice and very awesome. And usually, if you go to a meetup and you don't totally know what you're doing and you're dressed as best you can, but you don't totally know what's happening and you look confused and scared, a Lolita will come up and talk to you and be like, hey, I like your shoes. Where'd you get them? And give you advice if you ask for it and help you out. And you will make friends. They're really nice people. So don't be intimidated by Lolitas, even if you're a Faux-lita. And also, I have been a Faux-lita for only a little while now, but nobody has ever been mean to me about the fact that I call myself fake and that I say that I'm not really into it. Everybody's just like laughs and is like, oh, okay, so what dress are you wearing? Like, nobody's even mean when you say that you're fake and you're like, I only minimally care about this. Everybody's just nice. So, conclusions. Lolita is a pretty fashion. Lolita has lots of stuff to it, but it's not that big a deal. Like, you'll be able to manage. Everything is made up and there are no rules, just guidelines. People are generally nice in Lolita. Have fun with it. It's a fun experimental fashion. So experiment, have fun. Be safe. Sometimes going in public in Lolita is stressful, so try to go in groups. And there's no such thing as a fake Lolita. It is Faux-lita. The word is Faux-lita, not fake Lolita. So thank you. And if you're a real Lolita watching this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I've done today. So now, I believe we may have a little bit of extra time here. Let me check my everything on my phone. Yes, we have like a couple more minutes. Any questions that we have? I'll be looking at my phone for a second to see if we have any good questions. Oh, thank you. You guys are so nice. I should have looked more in the comments while I was doing this. That was the best panel. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. See, part 100. Lolitas are the nicest. They are just really welcoming and really cool. Not enough dabbing. You're right. You're right. You're right. Let's add some dabs. These kind of dabs. We're not doing the other kind because I'm too stressed. Thank you for thinking it was funny. Excellent. You guys are so nice. I love you guys. This is why I keep doing Lolita, because everybody is so cool. I'm like, the dresses are fun, everything's fun. It's fun to kind of dress in something different every now and then, so that's great. But the real appeal to Lolita is the people and the great connections you can make and the great people you can meet. So, and I think that this is just a great example of that. So let's see. Not enough praise mentioned though. So big, sad. You're right. You're right. I missed a few things. Well, I could only do so much in so little time. I actually had to take a lot of things out because they were a little too much. I went really deep into the basics of Lolita for a second there, and I was like, whoa, who am I? A real Lolita? What's happening? Who is my favorite Lolita? Oh, boy. My favorite Lolita. My sister just asked this question, so she wants me to say her. So I won't. But I really like everybody. Like, this is a cop out, but I really like the variety in Lolita. I really like the way that everybody interprets and uses it differently. So my favorite Lolita is just all Lolitas who try and who are making an effort to try something new and look cool. Probably my top favorite Lolitas are my sister, because I've seen her grow and I've seen her become such an amazing person with Lolita, and now she's doing this convention. She's our grateful host, Jamie Luna. So she's awesome. And then my girlfriend Kim, I also love her, and not just because I love her, but I've also been able to see her grow and see what they've become in Lolita. But I also have always looked up to Ray and Nari. Shout out to them, because they've always been really, really good at Lolita, and have always been, just their outfits have always been amazing. And even more of them. I really like sorry if I mispronounced their name, Cello or Cello. I've been really admiring their Lolita recently because they really go outside the box and try some new stuff. So that's really cool. So I have a lot of favorite Lolitas. They're all cool. What's the favorite cord you've seen? Oh man, I saw this one. Oh, I can't remember her name. She used to be in the Colorado Gothic Lolita community, but it was like jellyfish themed, and it was just so cool. And she had like jellyfish everything, and I just loved it. So that was one of my favorite day. It's sibling day. Say your sister. I said her eventually. Um, Nicole Gus. Oh, Nicole is also one of my favorites. I will say Nicole is she does great. She shows me so much about the gothic side of things, and her outfits are always so intricate and so like you can tell just so much thought went into it. I just adore it. Um, yeah. So, like, whose style do you like the most? Um, Mine. I like my style the most. I like the what I'm becoming in Lolita. I'm becoming more classic Lolita. Never expected that. Um, the pets walking around in the background is a plus. Yes, thank you. Those are my babies. My dog Minnie is in here. She's very sweet. Um, yes. So we don't have a classic Lolita in our car, Morley. Well, I guess there's a spot to fill. So I would like to send in my application for our com to be the classic Lolita. I'm just kidding. I can't handle that commitment. I can barely handle any kind of commitment. Mariah, oh, Mariah was great. Mariah, I loved Mariah's outfits too. She is an inspiration, but she now lives in Japan. I hope she's doing well. I feel bad because she moved up to where near I live, and there were a few other Lolitas, and we're like, we're gonna do our own thing, and then we never did. So if you're one of those Lolitas who lives in where I live, who I won't mention where I live because I'm scared of the internet, but if you are one of those Lolitas, hi, and I'm sorry, and let's try something soon. Raven does do classic. Dang, Jamie, you're the only one. You're just blowing things up. Um, yeah. There's so many Lolitas that I look up to. There's so many Lolitas that I think just do it amazingly. So it's hard to narrow it down to who's my favorite, whose style I like the best, because again, I just adore the variety. But I believe that is all the time that we have. I think we went over by a minute. So um that is that. And thank you all for um being here, and I hope you liked it. And let me see if I can stop screen sharing. Oh, I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid that I'm gonna expose myself for or something. Oh, I found it. Okay. So thank you guys so much. Um, I love you all. You did you guys made me feel good. And I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you laughed a little bit because it was supposed to be a comedy panel. And yeah, have a great night.